This is a little bit different. I am talking about something on stream that I figured would make it into a really good YouTube video. So as I'm recording this video, I am live at twitch.tv/StephenAder546. I stream semi-regularly, so if that's something you're interested in, you can go leave a follow. I'll have the link in the description below. But I wanted to talk about what it means to be a student of the game, so to speak, and why I hold it in such high regard, and why it's something that I push on a lot of my coaching clients or people who are trying to learn how to play any game, from League to Smash to whatever game it happens to be. I think it's something that's really important. So it's a phrase that I've heard applied to a lot of different things. I hear it applied in like traditional sports like football and basketball. I hear it applied in a lot of different video games. I hear it applied to stuff like chess. And basically all it means is that you are engaging with the game in a meaningful way aside from just playing it, right? So I can sit down and I can play 1,000 games of League in a season, and that makes me a League of Legends player, but it doesn't make me a student of the game, because I could play all 1,000 games, and depending on how intentional I'm being about my gameplay, I might not learn very much. Like, I'll obviously get better at muscle memory and I'll get better at the mechanics and stuff like that, but I'm not actively learning about all the details that the game has to offer, right? So if you don't know who I am, and if you somehow found this video without knowing who I am, this is me. I'm sitting in Masters right now, but I haven't played a whole lot this season. I've been playing since season 1. It only goes so far back as season 4 to show me on OPGG, but I've been playing League since season 1 with a brief gap in the middle around season 5 to season 7. These last two splits, or these last two seasons, I've been able to hit Challenger, and I only ended the season Diamond because I let myself decay down from 1,000 LP or so. So, I'm not fantastic at the game, but I'm pretty capable. And I've played a lot of it, and I do coaching via Metafy. I have a page for this. If coaching is something you're interested in, you can go to metafy.gg/@StephenAder, but only if it's something that you think is really for you, because I give plenty of tips for free on my stream all the time. It's more of like a passion thing. But anyways, that's me. I'd like to think that I know a decent amount about League of Legends in specific, but I play a lot of games, and I take them seriously, and I try to improve at them. So something that really frustrates me, or more so something that I see a lot of people come in and ask for coaching about, is they've been playing hundreds, if not thousands, of solo queue games, and they feel stuck and they're not improving. And one of the first things that I try to target is what their actual process outside of just playing the game looks like. And for a lot of people who are coming and getting coaching, this is their first time hearing or having any exposure to the idea of doing something that is not playing the game to improve at the game, which like sounds ridiculous. I'm sure it sounds ridiculous for a lot of the demographic of my video, because people, I think a lot of the people who follow me are going to be familiar with some of the concepts that I'm talking about. But I also think that for a lot of people, they drain thousands of hours into games that they want to get better at and wonder why they're not going anywhere, or they get to a certain point and then they start plateauing and they don't get any better. So, back to the core question of what does it mean to be a student of the game. In my viewpoint, you are being a student of the game anytime that you engage with the game in a meaningful way outside of the act of actually playing the game. So this includes watching streamers play the game, watching pro play, reading and watching guides, reviewing your own replays, and even less informal stuff like just thinking about the game while you're like in the shower or should be paying attention in class, and just taking time to think about the game and theory craft matchups, and basically integrating it as a part of your thought process even when you're not playing. Which, again, for some people that sounds feasible, for some people it doesn't. You don't have to integrate all of those things that I just said. You can pick and choose what feels best for you, but it's this idea of playing the game isn't the only way to get better at the game, and just by itself, a lot of the times just playing the game isn't going to be enough. So here are some ways that you can go about this. I wanted to, the initial reason that I wanted to talk about this is because 2 days ago I wasn't really in a mood to play League, but I wanted to think about League, and I wanted to make a conscious effort to get better. And so what I did is I realized, hey, it's a new season. I've been struggling a little bit with knowing what my itemization is and what runes I should take and stuff like that, because a lot has changed in between last season and this season. So I went to this website. This is a handy website for anyone who doesn't know it exists. It's called Games of Legends Esports. GOL.GG is what I type in to get here. And this has information on every game that's played in every single region. in competitive play. So I usually go to this champions tab over here, and then if I filter by season 14, I can filter by game version, and usually I click this top button, which just limits to LPL, LCK, LEC, LCS, because otherwise it'll show you like Brazil and Latin America, and there's sometimes some weird stuff going on over there. And then I hit refresh, and it'll actually show me for season 14 all of the top champions, how many times they've been picked, how many times they've been banned, what their presence is, which just means picks and bans combined percentage wise, wins, losses, win rate, KDA. A lot of this stuff on the right side isn't very important, but I like looking at what the top champions are. So for me, I'm a mid laner, right? So I go to mid lane. Let's see who's popular on the patch. Hopefully I'm playing at least a few of these champions. If you're someone who doesn't play champions who are super popular in pro play, this won't be quite as useful for you, but there are other ways to engage with it. Sometimes the website's a little funky, so I'll give it some time to load. But what I do is I use these resources, and I use stuff like u.gg for Azir, and then I'll go to pro builds, and what I'll do is I'll click mid lane, I'll sort out one trick ponies so it's only pro players, and I'm just gonna go like boom 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 boom, open all of these, and I'm just gonna look at like what runes are people taking, what shards, what are they building, and in what order, and I'm just gonna compare multiple games to try to kind of get a sense of what people are doing. There's usually gonna be some variation, but you'll usually see some commonalities. Like I see that pretty much everybody, regardless of what they go after it, is building Nashor's Tooth first. And Fleet Footwork, thank you for the follow, Deirdrit. Fleet Footwork seems to be pretty standard, and the runes seem to be standardized across most players. There's occasionally some inspiration tree, so maybe that's something I could consider. If we go back to Jewel.gg, I see that Azir's the highest priority champion. So what I can do, and this is why I love this website so much, is that I can go in, I can look at his stats, most bought items, here are what summoners and runes are taking, and there's a lot of information here. So it's easy to get information overload. Don't feel like you have to use all of this. But there's some interesting stuff. Who is he weak against? Who is he strong against in comp play? And then I actually go into the match list as well so that I can see the individual matches. And so I'll do kind of similar to what I did before. I'll open like 20 different games, and you don't have to go that in depth, but I'll open, okay, let me open Team Liquid, let me open FlyQuest, and let's get an LCK game in there, DRX. And then I will actually go to builds for all of these. Oh, no problem, Deirdre. Thanks for popping in and dropping a follow. I will go to builds. I'll click on Azir for all of these. And I now have information not only just from solo queue, which is what Pro Builds is showing me, but also from competitive play of what people are building. And so I can pull open these. If I want to go even deeper than this, obviously, yeah, I can go in here and I can click builds and I can see exactly what he built and when. I can see his skill order. I can see his runes. So there's a lot of it. This website, GOL.gg, has an absolute depth of knowledge that can give you a lot of important context about how to build your champion, how to play your champion. And the reason that I think that this stuff is so important is because, especially in a complex game like League of Legends, there's so much to focus on in game that the more pressure that I can take off of myself for the out of game stuff, the more I can feel solidified in my itemization and my runes, and that I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, the more focus that I can put into playing the game the best I can. Now, some other things that you can do to study the game, because this is obviously one thing. I put all of this information in a spreadsheet. So I have all of the champions that I'm playing right now. I track information like rune setups, items, ability order, some strong power spike for me, and then a general game plan, which I don't generalize too much. I haven't been using this that much, but it's just an idea of something that you could write down and kind of track. And by organizing this information, this now, again, takes the pressure off of me in game. I know what I'm getting myself into. And I also have a template for tracking matchups. So if I wanted to track matchups for a specific champion, like if I wanted to make an Azir page, I would duplicate this, rename this one to Azir, and then I could track Azir versus Orianna. Well, versus Orianna, I want to take Flash and TP. Maybe I want to take Fleet Footwork. I want to start Doran's Ring. And here are some few early notes. Trade, level 1, and this isn't like legit stuff for the matchup, but you get the idea. You can make sure that you're getting something tangible out of every game that you play, because you actually have a place to track these statistics and write stuff down for yourself. So that's another way that I kind of study the game and treat the game as something more than just being able to play it. Two other really important things is to look at VODs Now, I know that different people get different amounts of value from this, but I have just a folder of different channels that upload full stream VODs as well as individual VODs. So if I wanted to find, let's see, Rookie's pretty good at the game. This is a 1 hour VOD, presumably of some of his solo queue, like games on stream. So I'll open up one of these. I'll skip ahead. I don't play Yasuo, so there's no real reason for me to watch Rookie play Yasuo, but what else does he play? Okay, Yone. I watch Yone. Or I play Yone, so maybe this game will be worth my time to watch. I'm just going to watch how he plays the matchup early, kind of compare mentally how he plays to how I play, and use his VODs as a frame of reference of comparison against my own gameplay. See how he plays the level 1, see what power spikes he plays aggressive on. There's a lot of information that you can glean. My big suggestion on reviewing VODs, and I could totally make a longer video on this if it was something that people thought would be useful, but my big suggestion on reviewing VODs is never to review a full VOD. Always try to be looking for something in specific. So for example, I'm very laning focused right now, so I usually only watch the first 6 minutes of any pro VOD that I look at. There's no reason for me to try to soak in and absorb everything possible from a 30-minute VOD of Rookie playing the game. I'm going to get information overload, and I'm probably not going to come away with all that much. So this Ace99 is another good channel that uploads a bunch of full stream VODs from people like Chovy, Pays, Morgan, gets multiple roles in here. So regardless of what role you play, you can probably find something on these channels for you. Of course, there's also stuff like Domisum Replay, which is a bit less credible in my opinion, because sometimes they upload some weird VODs. They usually only upload extremely good VODs. So VODs where people are getting like 20 kills or perfect KDAs and stuff like that. But this channel can definitely be useful if you're looking for, if maybe pros don't play the champion that you're looking for. So if I'm a Diana mid player, I can look up Domisum Replay Diana mid, find some games of Diana mid, see what they're building, see how they're playing, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it in terms of studying the game. In terms of stuff that you can do that is unrelated to your own gameplay. However, the single most important part of studying the game is having the ability to review your own replays and doing it semi-consistently. So I will switch my scene real quick so you can see. I have this program called Insights that I really like using. It auto-records my gameplay. It saves the VODs. I can look back through them. It tracks my kills and deaths so that I can jump straight to specific points. There are a lot of other programs out there that do a similar thing to this that you could use for the same purpose. But get yourself one of these programs so that you can record your games, and then when something weird happens in game, you can actually look back at it. Some people might wonder, why can't you use the in-game replay system? That might work for some games. For League, you really want to see your own perspective so you know what information you did and didn't have and where your camera was panning and stuff like that. But yeah, I recommend one of those programs. So why is this important at the end of the day? Why is it important? Why can't I just spam tons and tons and tons of games? I am a firm believer that you need to have at least an 80% 20% ratio of playing the game and studying the game to see active improvement, because if all you're doing is playing the game, you're not going to get some of the key learnings that you could be getting out of your gameplay. So by taking some time to not play the game, not only are you letting some of those learnings from playing the game simmer in your brain a little bit, kind of like how sleeping helps you build skills and stuff like that, you're also giving yourself time to learn things about the game that you wouldn't have otherwise known, and come into your gameplay the following day with a little less stress on figuring out the things outside of games. So all you have to focus on is playing the game at your highest level. So I encourage you guys to try out being a student of the game a little bit more. Hopefully some of these tips are helpful. It's something that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I push in my coaching. If that's something that you're interested, again, I do coaching on Metafy, but you don't have to. And I just hope that this video is helpful for you guys. So a little bit less formal than some of my past videos. I figured I would just go live on stream and record this. If this type of content is something that you're interested in, definitely let me know. If it's not something that you're interested in and you think it would be better served to Twitch, then let me know that as well. And if coming to my Twitch and watching this kind of content is something that you'd be interested in, I stream and play informative games of League right now. In the future, I'll branch out and play other games, probably, especially Project Loki once that comes out. But yeah, thanks everyone for popping by and watching, and see you later.